MovieWeb.com.
Hey, I'm Jamie Philbrook with MovieWeb.com, and I'm here with the stars of the new film, Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakuel, Alvin and the Chipmunks. So guys, tell me, what's the most challenging aspect of movie superstardom?
You mean besides putting up with Alvin?
Alvin!
This Christmas.
Alvin? Are you boys behaving?
Have a little faith, Dave.
What was that?
Cheese ball?
The Chipmunks are back.
The crowd goes crazy!
The Chipettes work so well off of the absolutely hilarious David Cross in this movie, and it's almost seamless the way you guys, the characters, work off of him. Were you guys on set throwing him lines, or did he come into the recording studio at all, or how did you make it so seamless?
It's a very lonely process, actually. Not lonely, because you have Janice and Ross and Betty Thomas, but you're in a studio. You're in a recording studio by yourself for 6, 7, 8, 10 sessions.
Yeah.
Of hours and hours and hours. So we didn't even get to work together or see each other or anything.
And David is a friend of mine, and I'm a huge fan of his work. And but it was always funny because I would say, "Hey, I got to work with you again today," because I would just see his face on screen for hours. And he was working, I guess, with no one, right? He was just talking to I wonder little people,
styrofoam or something.
Come on, baby.
No problem. Watch and learn, my friends. Well, it looks like it's time to play my second favorite game. Hide the broken TV from Dave. You want to play?
No.
Go easy on him, Taco Boy. This day's been bad enough already.
Oh, I think I see what's going on. You guys have some problems at school?
No, not really. Unless you consider getting your head dunked into a public toilet a problem. Toby, what was school like for you?
In a word, awesome. But, that's because I was, extremely popular.
Is that why you still live with your grandma? And refer to yourself as the Toadster? And go pew 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 all day?
In the movie, you play this hardcore gamer.
Pretty much.
That must have been really difficult for you to relate to. Was the research really hard for you to get into that character?
The sarcasm is so subtle. It was fun. It's always fun when you get to do stuff that's kind of close to home and stuff that you're familiar with, you know what I mean? Like, one of the first scenes I did, they handed me a Nintendo DS and were like, "Can you do this thing?" I'm like, "Please, let me just get into this, thank you." And proceeded to beat the game that was on there in an hour, and it was far more than an hour shooting, but I was just going back through the levels. It was ridiculous. But yeah, it's fun. It's I love video games. So any bit of that is fun.
And in the movie, most of your scenes are with the Chipmunks. So essentially, you're acting by yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, was there anything that director Betty Thomas was able to do? She's shouting out lines from behind the camera to help you with that, or how does that all work out?
Yeah, kind of. It wasn't necessarily, most of that was just shouting about the eye lines, like, "Look lower, you're not looking at Alvin," because that stuff's tricky. You're just looking at thin air, and you're like, I don't know, was he there? I thought he was there. Has he moved? He's a crafty little chipmunk, that one. But no, you just you just try to approach it like you would be talking to somebody else, and you gotta create a little bit more of your own reality in that, but it's a challenge, but it's a good challenge, because so many films are now incorporating computer graphics or green screen or motion capture or whatever that it's good to have some of that experience.
Well, how have things changed since you guys have become movie stars?
Alvin still pretty much hogs the spotlight. Very funny, Simon. That Simon is dreamy. I think Theodore was looking at me. Yeah, I know. But guys, remember what Ian said? We can't trust them.
When the Chipettes were created, they were sort of created as counterparts to the Chipmunks. They were just sort of the same characters but female versions. And in this film, they're their own characters. There's so much more.
They're dominating.
What kind of personal touches were you able to add to make that come alive?
Well, I think the characters are kind of specific in a way, but I think just our own sort of lilt and our own cadence and our own timing and who we are as individuals, I think brought something that was unique. You know, it's still sped up. You know, it's still very, you know, you can't really hear our voices, but I think you can hear our spirit in there.
And then I wanted to ask you, Betty Thomas is really a master of directing talking animals after Dr. Dolittle. So was there any sort of, help or direction? What kind of direction did she guys give you guys on in the recording studio?
She's super fun.
Yeah, she just keeps it light. But also, I think that you've got Ross and Janice who help with the technical aspect, because it really is a very technical thing. And Betty always has the story and has the emotions, and she just reminds you that has to be in there too. Like, it's not just about talking slowly. It's got to have all these elements in order for it to really work.
And she's really collaborative, and she just threw out some really fun ideas. And she's just a really funny, cool, interesting broad.
She says dude a lot.
Yeah.
Boys, this isn't funny.
Hello, Humane Society? Yes, I need help. A man is after us. He wants to take us to a terrible place. School!
Ow.
Have a heart, huh?
Have a heart. Dave wants you to go to school, so you're going.
Yeah, well, don't worry about picking us up at 3, Toby. We'll get a ride. In a hearse!
Guys, come on. Look, trust me. The second day is never as bad as the first.
I noticed that the house you guys live in the movie, that the street address is 1958, which is the year that the Chipmunks were created.
Very good.
So,
very good.
were you aware of that? Were there other Easter eggs in the movie that fans?
There's a
can kind
lot
look
of little
for?
Easter eggs, yeah. In fact, the piano that is in Dave Seville's house is Ross's father's piano, Ross Sr.'s, who created the Chipmunks. That is the piano that he created and wrote all those songs on. And it's in the movie. I mean, I walked over and sat at the bass on the piano bench, and I was like, I don't really feel like I should even be touching this thing, I mean, that's history.
And then you've got a ton of physical comedy that you're doing in the movie. You're really good at it. You're sort of channeling Chevy Chase in a lot of it. So, do you get hurt? Is it sort of difficult doing that stuff, or how does that work?
I love it. I love physical comedy. I've always been such a fan of Chevy Chase, of Jim Carrey, of I mean, even, Charlie Chaplin, Three Stooges. I mean, I think that physical comedy has always been such a huge part of this business, and it's kind of unfortunate to me. I feel like it's been lost a little bit. Jim Carrey has been like the last guy to really do it in a big way, and but I don't know. I hope that Peter Sellers. It's like, how do you look at somebody like Peter Sellers and not know that he knew what he was doing? That was genius stuff. Clearly, that has got to translate to today.
Yeah.
So I hope that I get to do more of it in the future. I mean, I get to do a lot of it on Chuck too, which I'm happy about. And I don't know, just to me, there's almost nothing funnier than somebody just falling on their face.
It's that time of year again. So, what's some of your favorite holiday memories?
Starring in the Squeakuel.
Okay, well, congratulations again on the world's first Squeakuel.
Thanks. The title was my idea. Squeakuels go great with buckets of popcorn. We're all about innovation. Yay.
Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakuel.
Booyah! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Shake what your mama gave ya.
In theaters December 23rd with one big surprise.
Oh, relax. Who's going to beat singing chipmunks?